We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Main Street TV. I'm James, and I'm joined by legendary Jackson County broadcaster John Boy Pelletier.
Yes, and legend, by the way, is one of those code words for old. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. Classic.
Okay,
vintage,
another old word.
Pristine.
Well,
or
that's
no,
not
what's the fancy word for rusty?
I don't know.
Patina.
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 Yeah, there you go.
He's well patinaed.
I have the...
Yeah.
Right
So Jennifer is out this week, and I want to thank Jeremiah Schaefer and Pete Wilson for filling in for me yesterday when I was also out of the office. Jen will be gone the next week and a half.
A week and a half?
A week and a half.
How'd she pull that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to have to see what about that.
Some of us got it,
Yeah.
some of us don't.
Yeah, so I think I should get some of her pay.
They're the haves
Since I'm
and
sitting
the
here.
have-nots.
Yeah,
dude.
the haves and the have-nots. But so Jen's going to be out for the next few days, so I'm in charge. Don't know how that happened, but I don't know what I'm doing. So
Okay.
that's why I invited the man, the myth, the legend,
Okay,
John Boy,
okay.
in here to teach me how to do a morning radio program.
Okay. I don't know. I forgot most of what I
You
know.
forgot
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
you
really
haven't
have,
done
but
it in 2 years.
That's true. Hey, but we could start with, I do have an announcement.
Okay.
Speaking about being old, last night I officially became a great grandfather.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, my granddaughter, Cameron, and of course her husband, Jamie, they had a little boy, Weston, and it was is his name.
Weston. That's a good
Weston.
name.
That is a good name. And then he was 7 pounds, 8 ounces, 20 inches long. And congratulations to my granddaughter
Yeah.
and grandson, Jamie and Cameron.
Congratulations,
I am
guys.
a
That's
great
awesome.
grandfather.
And congratulations to you and Connie.
Right.
Great.
Right.
Two great. One great.
We're
One
great.
great. One great.
It's
One
a great
great
event.
grandparents.
So congratulations.
That's awesome.
that
Congratulations to you guys. Yeah. That
Yeah.
is super. That is
Also,
super.
I need to take care of some other business. I need to
Okay.
say hi to Aunt Joe,
Hi, Aunt Joe.
to the famous Aunt Joe.
I thought we were supposed to apologize to Aunt Joe.
Yeah, sorry, Aunt Joe. From Union Furnace.
Yeah.
So she is probably watching, hopefully.
I hope
I
so
wanna
too.
say hi to
I
Aunt
hope
Joe.
anybody's watching.
Yeah. Well, we know we have one, Aunt
Yeah.
Joe.
Thank you, Aunt Joe.
So, all right. So anyway, that's what I've got
All
for
right.
the day.
Well,
I'm
so
done.
so I wasn't here yesterday. We had a pretty exciting
tell me
excursion
about that.
yesterday. So Dylan, you got a photo there. Show where I got to go yesterday.
So where did you go?
So all right. So there's the whole crew minus me. But so here's where we got to spend the day yesterday. We were at Great American Ballpark in
Cool.
Cincinnati. This was the Reds Radio Affiliates Luncheon.
Okay.
So basically, they bring everybody that works for a radio station that broadcasts Reds games.
The Reds Radio Network.
The Reds
Right.
Radio Network. They
Right.
bring us in and wine us and dine us to convince us to keep covering the Reds, even though they lost 105 games last season. But it was it was really cool event. But this is the kickoff to the Reds Caravan,
Okay.
which, if you're not familiar, the Reds Caravan is kind of like a fan meet and greet road trip
Hmm.
where players and coaches and managers and broadcasters go out to all the cities that are on sort of like the outskirts of Reds country. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because one of the great things about Cincinnati is, it's a small market team, but since they appeal to people in Kentucky, people all throughout Southern Ohio and into West Virginia and Indiana, they have this really big radius of fans that aren't in Cincinnati. So they go to all these different places to sort of promote the team.
Mhm.
And this luncheon is sort of like the unofficial kickoff of that.
Okay.
So it's very cool event. If you've never been to it, you should look up the Reds Caravan, and you can find the public stops that are like nearest to you. Here's the exciting thing.
Okay.
And unfortunately, neither of these events are public, but they are happening. So tomorrow, the Reds are coming to Jackson.
Really?
Yeah. So this is a private event. You do technically have to have an invitation, but if you keep listening to the Matt and the Morning Crew, they're going to be giving away tickets to go to that event.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. And then on Thursday or Friday, I forget which day it is because
Yeah,
You
I
know.
know.
they're going to be in Athens.
Okay.
And traditionally, the Athens stop is a public event, but again, this year it is a private event
Okay.
because they're having to do it this year because this is the first time they've done it since COVID, so they haven't done it in 3 years.
Yeah.
But it is a very exciting thing that they're doing it again.
Super.
Yeah. So I've got a little video prepared from some of the stuff that we saw yesterday that we're going to take a look at that. So it has a little bit of the Q&A. We talked to Reds catching coach Corky Miller,
Okay.
Reds manager David Bell, soon to be Reds Hall of Fame pitcher Bronson Arroyo,
Okay.
and some other players, some other prospects. Jeff Brantley, one of the radio announcers. Very cool. And at the end of this, the Reds owner Phil Castellini speaks,
Okay.
who doesn't talk to press very much.
Okay.
And so we're going to check that out in just a second. But I do want to give a shout out in this. In the middle of this video, we're going to hear from a young man named Cedric Granger.
Mhm.
And Cedric works for WATH out of Athens.
Okay.
And he does play-by-play for high school sports.
Mhm.
He is 20 years old. He's a junior at Ohio University. And he's going to be all of our bosses one day.
Okay.
This kid is really bright and he's talented. So we're going to hear from him in this, and hopefully we're going to have him here on Main Street TV sometime in the near future.
Okay. Super.
All right, so Dylan, can we hit that?
If you would, hosting the Q&A, please welcome Tommy Thrall.
Joe. Please welcome Corky Miller, minor league catching coordinator. Let's also welcome Bronson Arroyo. He needs a little introduction. Newest inductee into the Reds Hall of Fame. Hello, Bronson. Thanks for being here. Also, let's welcome Jose Barrero, Red shortstop. He'll be 25 years old on the 7th day of the season this year. One of the Reds' top prospects. He's just 21 years old. He was a first-round pick out of high school outside the Pittsburgh area. Please welcome outfielder Austin Hendrick. And now, my broadcast partner, my very dear friend, the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley. He's the Reds general manager, Nick Kroll. And also Reds manager, David Bell.
This is his maturity level and how he's matured over the years. There's been lots of talk since we drafted him and trying to move him out behind the plate and how he's going to progress and how he's going to do this. Being a guy out of high school, it's hard to project what he's going to do, but every year he not only excelled physically but mentally and maturity-wise. He ended up exceeding everybody's expectations, which I fought for him to stay behind the plate, just like I still do. And David believes too, like he can play behind the plate, but he also can hit, so we use him anywhere that we can.
Cowboy, we talking about baseball. It's the off-season. Good to see you, by the way, pal.
Good to see you.
We talk a lot of baseball during the season. They all get to hear it plenty. We also get to talk some food. And I know that's one of your favorite things to do in the off-season. So how's the rib smoking coming this off-season down there in Mississippi?
Well, we're working on getting some clean water right now. Rib smoking, turkey smoking, all of that doing very well.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, feel free to share with your partner one of these days. So I'd love to taste it. That'd be great. Bronson, we'll talk music. You have some tours coming up. You have some stops. Where can folks hear you?
Well, I'm always playing around town here, probably 10, 12 times a year. If you look on the Bronson Roy Band Facebook page, I think somebody keeps up with that and keeps it updated. But I got a record coming out next month, February 17th. It's on, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to your tunes. It's my first original record, and that's about it.
All right, very good. Jose, how's the off season been? I know you've done some work with the Reds hitting instructors. So how's the off season been? You've also played a little winter ball.
My off season is being really well. I was playing in Puerto Rico, and I feel great. I feel great to help my team this year in 2023. I feel great.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Cedric Granger. I'm working with 970 WATH and, of course, Total Media, led by JJ over there. I'm also a junior at Ohio University and an aspiring play-by-play broadcaster. So that's why my question is for Tommy, Jeff. Just how do you guys sustain yourself throughout an entire season? Because, again, with baseball, I've done some internships, and one of those things, just sustainability, when we're going through 80 games in a season, in your guys' case, over 160, how do you guys keep yourself sharp throughout the entire season?
It's a good question. Well, for one, it's great to work with good people. That helps a lot. And I get to work with Jeff on a daily basis, and that's a lot of fun. And I think we have a lot of fun together. And that makes it easy to look forward to coming to work every day. The other part of the answer, I mean, it's the worst answer to give because it's the most cliche answer in sports, but it applies to us, I think, the same as it does to players, coaches. You really kind of have to treat every day like it's its own day. So every day is a fresh start. And so it's a one day at a time type of thing. I know that answer sucks, but it really is. I mean, it truly, whether things are going really well or things are not going well, every day is a new day. And you get to watch Major League Baseball and it's a great job. So it's easy to be happy to come to work every day. Jeff?
What Tommy failed to tell you is that you're sitting on this side of the radio booths, which are just to our right here. And just beyond our booths is a huge bourbon bar.
You first think, I want to make it to the major leagues, and then you think, can I last here for a while? You never think about being in anybody's Hall of Fame. You never think about being in Cooperstown. When I go walk into this Hall of Fame and I see guys like Joe Morgan that I've gotten to know well before he passed away, and Pete Rose and all the guys from the grade 8 and Barry Larkin and all the great Reds that have come through here. There's only 90 people that are sitting in that Hall of Fame. I'm going to be the 91st guy. It's astonishing, honestly, and I just feel privileged to have played in a city long enough to amass those types of numbers to be able to go into the Hall of Fame. Because there's a lot of guys who had better careers than I did that have bounced around from team to team, and you never necessarily have a place to call home. And it really feels nice to be in Cincinnati, to come into the locker room and people still respect you in a way that they make you feel like it's still your house.
All right, now I want to welcome up Reds owner and CEO, Mr. Bob Castellini.
We do the same, and it's so important that we're upbeat. We're going through a point in time where we have to re-engage, especially with our pipeline and our minor leagues. Baseball is going through a very difficult time as far as the disparity within the organizations, the big markets and the small markets. And I'm not going to elaborate on that. I'm not going to take any questions on it. But you all know that it's a challenge. And we feel like we know how to handle it. And it's a year or two of maybe thinking we can't compete. That's just not true. We had a poor season last season. It'll be better this year. It'll be a lot better the year after. What we want to do is to, when we get back into the contention area, we want to stay there. We don't want to be a flash in the dark. It comes out, looks good, and then goes back down to being mediocre again. And in order to do that, we've got to really rely on our pipeline, our minor league scouts, and our Dominican activity especially. We intend to do that. So stick with us, believe in us if you will. We're here to win.
So that was just some of the highlights from the Reds the Reds luncheon yesterday. We got JJ Hale
come on
in the door pretending to do a Fred Sanford having the big one back there.
You walk by
So
and you see the big guy, big guy.
big
in the room.
yeah.
photobombing, aren't you?
He's photobombing.
Huh?
So here in a minute, we're gonna check out JJ Hale's batting practice.
Okay. I want to see that.
It is a sight
I want
to see.
that.
It's a sight to see. A little bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll check that out here in a second. But so that was a little bit of an idea of what
Right.
we did yesterday, and they talked about a few other things that I thought were kind of interesting that we might mention. So the last couple of years, we've been here at Total Media. We've been pushing the Total Media app big.
Right.
You know, we're like that. The radios are streaming online now. You don't have to listen with a traditional radio. You can listen with a smartphone or an Alexa speaker or whatever you got. But one of the issues is these contracts that we have with professional sports teams like the Cincinnati Reds prohibit us from streaming those games on the internet.
Right.
Because MLB has made MLB, like as a league, has made these contracts with other companies like SiriusXM that are like exclusive deals for streaming rights. And one of the things that they talked about yesterday is that a lot of the baseball, like the teams, do not like that Major League Baseball did those exclusive deals without allowing the teams to make deals with local affiliates. And so my understanding is that those existing online audio streaming licenses will expire at the end of 2023.
Okay.
So hopefully, maybe in 2024 or the not too distant future, local radio affiliates like us will be able to stream Reds games online, making it easier for fans that don't live in Cincinnati to listen to those games, because not every game is on television.
Right, true.
And not everybody has a cable subscription, because those games aren't really streaming online. The television stream is not really streaming online anywhere either. So keep that in mind. So in the next year or two, we may see some exciting progress in that happen.
Sounds cool.
I think it sounds cool. I think it sounds very cool. Then another thing I wanted to mention is off air while we were watching that video, you mentioned that back in the day, the Reds had like a suite in the stadium for radio affiliates where you could go to the game. And they still have something like that. And it is on the same level as the broadcast booth. So you're just like a couple doors over from where the radio and the television announcers are sitting. And so they were talking about this yesterday, and they're like, you know, that suite is available to our affiliates. Like you have to book it, and you have to find a date that somebody else hasn't reserved it and all that stuff. But you can reserve that suite. But here's the catch. There's no alcohol allowed on that level of the stadium. Why? Because some local affiliate radio guy went to reserve that suite, got blitzed, and decided to wander into the TV studio during the game. So if you want to partake in legal adult beverages, that is not the way to see a Cincinnati Reds game.
They should have just locked the door. That'd have been an easier solution.
I would think that you should probably have to have like an ID badge or something to walk into that room while they're live on the air.
I guess you have to go down and out in the stadium to enjoy the real tradition of baseball, which is a hot dog, peanuts, and a beer.
Yeah, I think you can get the hot dog and the peanuts.
Okay.
It'll cost you $47.
I know.
But you can get it.
True story.
Yeah. But yesterday was a lot of fun. We got a couple other pictures here Dylan will show. JJ kept okay. So here is Chris Henry. Chris is our most tenured person on our sales team. He likes to say that he was the first person that Mr. Stockmeister hired when he bought the radio stations.
And that's probably true.
It probably is true. But here's Chris Henry sitting in Joey Votto's locker. And then so I think I've got a picture of me with Votto's locker.
Okay.
And so you can see he's got a little sticker on his little cubby that says that he's the goat. I'm guessing he didn't put that there. Someone else was probably being silly. And then they had this like professional photographer set up taking these portraits. Yeah, so they took this group picture. And as you notice, me and Porterhouse got left out of the group picture.
I noticed that.
And the reason that we got cut out of the group picture was because we were too anxious that we got to do batting practice.
Oh, I see.
So we got to go down into the Reds clubhouse, which is just adjacent to this locker room, and do batting practice. And so Dylan's got a video here of us all taking batting practice. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think I did the best out of everybody. I'm not saying I did well.
Who's pitching?
I did not catch his name, but he was someone I assumed throws batting.
Say, who's lobbing the ball?
Yeah. Well, I felt bad for that guy because he just had to stand there and lob baseballs into unathletic people like me.
He's probably making more than you and me. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope so. If he's living in Cincinnati, he's got a higher cost of living too, though. Dang, James, but for having not swung a baseball bat in a pretty long time. Right. I feel like I didn't do that bad. So I get a hold of one here in a second. This was my best one, I think. Yeah, see, that's not a bad hit right there. And so here's our traffic director, Derek McManus. And I offered Derek the opportunity to come in here and defend his hitting every single ball into the dirt. He's like, what are you talking about? I did fine. I was like, dude, you hit every single ball into the dirt. And then here in a second, after hitting every ball into the dirt, he has the audacity to turn around and try to bat left-handed. So yeah, for someone that claims to be a pretty big baseball fan. All right, now here's the real slugger. Here's JJ Hale.
Yeah, that one dribbled a little bit.
Now here, look at this. Look at that. Look at that form. Look at that.
Foul ball. Okay.
All right. I mean, this is that's an athlete right there. See, now he's getting serious.
Now he's getting serious.
Look, he's getting serious. Oh,
swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Let's try it again, buddy. Let's try it again. Oh!
This next one is your pitch.
Oh! So, when you haven't done something like this in a long time, there you got one in play.
There you go.
So Matt did pretty well.
Oop.
He started a little slow, but once he got going, Matt gets going pretty good. So this is Matt McKee, Matt in the Morning Crew on Mix 96 FM. So see, once he gets going pretty good. So I think if we ever put together a softball team or something, I think I'm going to have
cleanup. Huh?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have Matt in the cleanup role. Yeah, see, he gets going here pretty good. See, that was a rope right there. But this was a lot of fun. And, it's one of those things you're like, oh my, I haven't done this in so long. Can my body even handle swinging the bat like that? And Porterhouse, he was like, yeah, no, I don't think I think if I want to be able to feel my shoulder tomorrow, I should probably not do this.
Now you realize that you have a license to steal right here. Because some of these guys can pay you big bucks to have these tapes disappear.
Yeah. Well, everybody seemed pretty excited to have it recorded. So again, here's Cedric out of Athens. And so I guess he was a very good high school athlete, played football and basketball, but didn't play baseball.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, he's not too bad at the plate, but I feel like if he could get on the bases, he could probably do some damage. But the real highlight of this, and I don't have it on tape, is once the guy ran out of balls, he had this big giant tube with a little grabby thing on it and just walked around and like sucked all those balls up.
Really?
And, yeah, just like whoop, 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 whoop. I was like, man, my dad wish that he had that when I was a little kid, leaving the balls laying all over the field. But yeah, I feel like I did the best. I was afraid to jinx myself because I didn't swing and miss any, but I was afraid to say anything.
You'd have a difficult decision between either you or Matt, one or leadoff batter, one or two.
Well, I think Cedric's our leadoff hitter.
Okay.
Because I think he's got the speed. Because I don't have it anymore, and I'm not trying to speak for Matt, but I don't think he's got the speed either. But yeah, I don't know. I think we need to put together a softball team.
Let me know.
I will. So we've got a couple other pictures I want to show real quick because JJ kept making me take pictures of him and celebrities. Well, here I am in the locker room. They had this whole thing set up. But you have the couple with JJ. Yeah, so here's JJ with Corky Miller. Corky, of course, played for the Reds for 10 or so seasons. Catcher, and he's a minor league catching coach right now. He's a big personality. A lot of people really love Corky. He used to have a big Fu Manchu mustache thing. Then here's JJ with David Bell, Reds manager, of course, third generation. David's dad and David's grandfather also played for the Reds. And then the biggest star of them all, Mr. Ed. But but very cool experience. Really enjoyed that. And again, the Reds are coming to Jackson on Wednesday. It is a private event, so you have to get an invitation. But if you listen to Matt on Mix 96.7 FM in the mornings, you might get a chance to win tickets. And there will be a live broadcast from the event tomorrow.
I remember that, of course, KOB has been an affiliate for the Reds. I mean, it goes way, 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 way back. And I remember the director of broadcasting was a gentleman by the name of Jim Winters. And he was very progressive. And we put together an event called Wellston Day at Riverfront. That's when it was at Riverfront. And he would give us blue seats that time, which were the good seats. And they were $8.
That was the regular price, or that was the special price?
That was the regular price.
Okay.
The special price for students and the family was $4. So we contracted with this, partnered with the school, contracted with Greyhound, and we had 1,087 people the first Wellston Day at Riverfront, and the next year we had over 1,200 people go.
Wow.
And so
good luck getting that many people to agree to do something today.
And we partnered with Marvin Payne at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we provided the tickets, the lunch, and all of that. And the high school kids, which were the benefactors of this, they didn't have to pay a dime. So they got to go to the Reds game. They got bused to the game, and it was just a wonderful event.
That's really cool.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, that is the cool thing about, sports in general, but, for people around here, particularly for the Reds, who doesn't have a great memory like that of going to a Reds game as a kid, or, going as an adult with your kids or your family or whatever. It's just a memory creating thing.
It is. And they allowed us to have the Wellston Band do the Star Spangled Banner. We had the choir sing one year. We always had one person from the Wellston community throughout the first pitch. One year it was Bob Willis, and it was a great event. As a matter of fact, on the second trip, that was the year that it was 0-0, and Eric Davis, remember, stole home, and the Reds won 1-0. So it was a great event, great days.
It's really
lots
cool.
of memories.
That's a really cool story.
Yeah,
hey, Dylan, can you throw up that picture of JJ and Corky Miller again? So during
do we have to?
Yeah, so do we have to? So during the Q&A, one of the questions was somebody said, "Hey Corky, how many times have you stolen home?" And he's like, "Once." And he's like, it was supposed to be a suicide squeeze kind of thing, but he threw to first instead of throwing to the plate, and Corky went. He scored, and it made the score 2-1. I don't know what inning it was, but he's like, that was the final score of the game, so technically I still hold home to win the game. So a good story. But that's a great story. One of my most vivid memories of Riverfront Stadium, when I was a kid, we went and saw the Reds play the Montreal Expos. And you mentioned you got the blue seats, which were the good seats.
Right.
The bad seats were the red seats. They're way up high. And we saw Vladimir Guerrero hit one up into those red seats. And it was the most insane thing I'd ever seen. I was like 10 years old or whatever.
That's cool.
But really, really, really cool. I think there's one other picture. Do you have the picture of Matt with the map, Dylan? So you're talking about how, like, the Reds radio network, how big it is. So here, this is a plaque showing every place, like in the sort of tri-state area, that has Reds affiliate networks. And you see Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Indiana, like all throughout all 4 states.
Right.
And WYPC and Jackson is right there in the middle of it all.
Okay.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Very, very cool. So keep an eye out for that. Very exciting. So I want you to teach me how to do a radio show.
Teach you how to do a radio show?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing you must understand that when you're doing radio, okay, people don't see you. So you don't have to be dressed like
I don't
this.
have to be so handsome. Is that what you're saying?
You can come in your PJs.
Okay.
All right. And
unplug the camera, Dylan.
You have to own 3 alarm clocks if you're going to do the morning show, because sometimes the first one doesn't go off, and sometimes you hit the snooze on the first one. Anyway, it takes at least 3.
Okay.
So, for you to get there in the morning. You must own a car that can go through any type of weather, snow, sleet, whatever. Yeah,
or be willing to walk.
Be willing to walk. And you must be able to learn how to talk in your sleep.
I can see that. I can see that.
No, it's of course I always was involved in the morning show, and normally I can remember times when I was the only person out on the road. I remember in the 70s, I forget what year, we had that terrible storm and lots of snow, and it took me 45 minutes to go a half a block, dig myself out to come to the station. And I remember the sheriff pulling me over. And wanted to know what I was doing out there.
What are you doing out here?
And I said, I'm on my way to the radio station so I can get these announcements on the air for people not to come out. And he was very gracious enough to plow the way for me. So I got to the radio station. So it's lots of morning stories. So.
Yeah. So, but it's important to have like segments, right? You got to have like reoccurring bits that you do that become like familiar with your audience.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of people don't know is even though you're on for 4 hours, I would always prep for tomorrow after the show for an hour or so, and then I would always come in very early. If my show started at 6, I would try to be there around 4 o'clock. So I usually got up in the 3 o'clock somethings and get in there and prep for that day. And then of course you have to look over the sports and you have to look over the news. And you have to know, some things to talk about. It's much easier now than it was before because, with the internet, it's a lot easier to prep and you can do more. So, but, you're by yourself, but you can't sound like you're by yourself.
Yeah. You got to make it sound like it's a party.
Yeah. And you have to, even if you don't feel well, you have to feel like you're having fun.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I can imagine that is not an easy thing because especially this time of year with like colds and everything going around.
Yeah,
you're just not feeling good first thing in the morning.
Yeah, if you're not,
you got to pretend like you are.
You're not feeling well, and you have the symptoms of the flu. Then you automatically know that you have to go to the longer songs, so you can put that song on, run to the bathroom, and come back, and put on another song, run to the bathroom, come back.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
Not quite that long.
That just takes up the whole 4 hour.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, so one thing that you always had when you were doing your show is you always knew what day it was.
Yeah, today, January 24th, there's a lot of celebrations. And as a matter of fact, what I want to do is talk about some of the great celebrations happening today,
Okay.
and then some of my favorites over the years.
Okay. I'm ready to celebrate.
Today, January 24th, is Clean Out Your Inbox Day.
Okay.
That always occurs on the last full week of January.
Mhm.
So you go in and clean out your inbox.
Yeah, I know for a fact that where I took the week off after Christmas,
Yeah.
between Christmas and New Year's, I'm still
Yeah.
behind.
You're still okay.
Yeah. So I need
And
to do that.
National Handwriting Analysis Day today.
I will analyze my handwriting. It's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
But
it's better than Pete Wilson's, but it's bad.
Nobody's as bad as Pete Wilson. And then, of course, actually, the neat thing about that is this date always falls on John Hancock's birthday.
Really?
The guy that signed the Declaration
Yeah,
of
because
Independence.
he had like the best handwriting ever.
Yes, right.
Or at least
And
the best
today,
signature.
And today is National Beer Can Day. Not to be mistaken for Beer Day, but Beer Can Day, because National Beer Day is April 7th,
Mhm.
and National Beer Lovers Day is September the 7th.
I
But
think-
Beer Can Day.
I think that's what Jennifer is celebrating
Okay.
right now on her.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, on her vacation.
Actually, canned beer I looked this up, debuted in this day, beer in cans.
Really?
1935.
1935.
Kruger Brewing Company. They delivered 2,000 cans of their Kruger Finest beer
Yeah.
and cream ale in cans in Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, that happened this
Interesting.
day.
Wow. Very cool.
All right, and here's some of my favorite holidays that
Okay.
I look forward to
All
celebrating
time.
these every year.
Okay.
On September 28th, it's National Ask a Stupid Question Day.
September 28th.
Yeah.
I don't think I can wait that long to ask stupid questions.
Well, keep in mind that actually this is a sort of I think this started sometime in the 80s. It backfired on the originators because what if they wanted to press upon kids in school, also in academics in college, that it's okay to ask stupid questions.
Mhm.
But it backfired on them because now it's just
Now it's just
Stupid
really
questions,
stupid
yeah.
questions.
uh,
Like,
no-
hey, John, do you want to come do Main Street TV?
how much?
uh,
And then, of
got
course,
some hot chocolate mix left over from Christmas I can
Okay.
give you.
There is and I think it's December 23rd, just before Christmas. In Japan, they celebrate the night, it's not a day, the night of the radishes.
The night
Of the radish.
Is that kind of like the Great Pumpkin?
Almost. And they do. They, how you carve
you go out-
pumpkins and all that?
Yeah,
They
you
carve
Carve
radishes.
a radish, yeah.
Bean throwing day.
I think I'd be good at that.
That falls on February the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And my favorite is, you ready?
I am.
Quirky Country Music Song Titles Day.
Quirky Country Music Song Titles Day.
And the reason that hits a spot with me, because over the years, I remember those songs.
Like, what is it? Okie from Muskogee or
Yeah, but that's not so quirky.
it's not quirky enough.
Remember Roger Miller's Can't Roller Skate Through a Buffalo
Can't
Herd?
roller skate through
Yeah.
Buffalo Herd.
And then, of course,
Can't
Bobby
roller skate
Bear's, drop kick Jesus through the goalposts of my heart. Now,
that one I'm less familiar with.
Yeah, those are that I remember, but here's some that you may not remember that are true quirky country
Okay.
music song titles.
All right.
Here's one. I'm so miserable without you, it's almost like having you here. Or my wife ran off with my best friend, and I sure do miss him. This is one of my favorites. One day when you swing that skillet, my face ain't gonna be there no
Oh.
more. All right. We feed our babies onions so we can find them in the dark. It's a true song.
Hey.
Here's another one. You're the reason our kids are so ugly. Let's see. Here's one says, I still miss you, baby, but my aim ain't getting any better. And my favorite one is, I won't take her to a dogfight because I'm afraid she'll win. So those are all true country music songs.
I
So
won't take her to a dog fight because I'm afraid
So
she
on
might
March
win.
27th every year,
Yeah.
you can celebrate quirky country music song
I think we
titles day.
should keep that in mind.
It's one of my favorites.
We should put a whole show together around that. Yeah.
You could.
Yeah. Just pick all the ones that are like out of copyright.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Hey, also, I almost forgot to mention today is National Peanut Butter Day.
Ooh, George Washington Carver.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
What's your preference for peanut butter?
You know,
Are you a choosy mom?
I looked that up, and I kind of like creamy and crunchy kind of
Yeah.
equally. But according to these surveys, it says here, if I can find it, women and children prefer creamy, where guys normally prefer crunchy.
Interesting. I'm definitely a creamy guy myself. Dylan,
Okay.
what do you think?
Yeah, I don't like crunchy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And people on the East Coast, according to the survey, prefer creamy. And on the West Coast, they kind of like the crunchy style.
Interesting.
It takes, you might want to know this, because you could be on a game show and win lots of money. It takes 540 peanuts to make a 12-ounce jar of peanut butter.
Wow.
And the average person will eat approximately 3,000 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in their lifetime.
I thought you were going to say a year.
Yeah. Or a year, yeah. And also keep in mind that we have two presidents that were
peanut farmers.
Peanut farmers.
We got oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter, yeah.
And-
my dad always complains that the price of peanuts went up when Jimmy Carter became president.
And then Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
And I thought this was kind of neat. It says there's 4 different types of peanuts. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's the
Roasted,
runners.
salted.
Yeah, salted and salted. There's runners, varieties of peanuts. The runner peanut, the Valencia peanut, also the Spanish and Virginia peanut. And here's something that I didn't know, but don't ever, ever, ever throw out old peanuts.
Really?
Because in a high pressure environment, you can actually turn peanuts into diamonds.
Ooh. So how much pressure are we talking?
I don't know.
Okay. Because you know,
not as much as being on this show, but
yeah. Well, what I'm picturing is like, you know, when the garbage truck and they got that thing that comes down and crushes everything. I'd be just filling that sucker full of peanuts.
Yeah, you'd have to wait a while though.
Yeah,
you have to tie up the garbage truck for a while.
I guess you're right.
Anyway, those are the famous holidays and stuff for today.
Wow. Quirky country music song title day.
Yeah, March 27th.
March 27th.
Circle
hey, Dylan,
that on
write
your
that
calendar.
down. Go ahead and circle that on the calendar.
Bring your guitar. And crunch out some.
I'm getting ideas.
Okay.
Getting ideas. Quirky country music song day. Here another special day that is coming up soon. I'm gonna make Dylan say this, or maybe I'll see if John Boy can say this word. So they talked about this on the show. Pete and Jeremiah talked about this on the show a little bit yesterday, and we're going to talk about it a lot more. But here coming up in Oak Hill is their
sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial. All right, Dylan, let's hear your 150th anniversary.
Sesquicentennial.
Yeah, sesquicentennial.
So
you got to throw the Q and the C back
sesquicentennial.
Yeah.
Sesquicentennial. I think that's right. But Jeremiah Schaefer yesterday was not even willing to take a stab at that one.
Okay.
But we'll talk about this a lot more tomorrow because Curtis Strickland, the president of the Oak Hill Chamber of Commerce, is going to be on the show.
Good.
So this is really neat. But so 2023, I don't think this flyer has the actual date that the town was founded. I think Pete maybe mentioned it on the show yesterday, but 2023 is the sesquicentennial, the 150th anniversary of Oak Hill being like incorporated as a village, or I guess that's the right way to say that. So basically every month throughout the year, they're going to have special events to like honor that or celebrate that. And on the 28th, which is this Saturday, right, Dylan? 28th this Saturday, the Sour Mash String Band, that's a bluegrass group out of Parkersburg, is going to do a free concert at the Liberty Theater there in Oak Hill.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that cool? So the Liberty Theater, I knew it in my day. It was the Teen Center. That was where the teens went and hung out.
Right.
But they've really remodeled it and turned it into this nice like meeting room. Lots of space for stuff like that. It's very, very pretty if you've not been in there before. And come check that band out. Of course, you may know that concert was originally supposed to be the Kenny Valentine Band, but Kenny had like a family emergency and had to reschedule. So Kenny will now be performing at the Liberty Theater on April 22nd.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very cool.
It's a great show.
Very cool. But they're going to, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but what I'm really excited for is here on November 4th, where it just says a special unveiling in Central Memorial Park.
Oh.
What could that be?
Oh, no.
Dylan, do you have any guesses what that special unveiling might be?
A statue of some sort.
It could be.
150, just a giant 150.
A giant statue of 100. It could be. It could be. I don't know. What do you think, John?
Don't know.
Don't know.
You just have to be there to find out.
Yep. Have to be there to find out.
I do have one question for John, though.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of esports?
Of what?
Esports.
I think that answers your question, Dylan.
Have I heard of what?
It's the thing I'm the captain of at my high school. It's basically like you play video games against another high school.
Okay.
Competitively. And then one of you wins.
Electronic.
Oh, esports.
Yeah. Well, it's just like competitive video games.
Okay.
And somehow we've related Giant Banana Man chasing people to that.
Okay. Esports. I love it.
Yeah. Dylan is he's the esports. And sometime we're gonna have Dylan bring in his Switch and we're gonna make Jens play some esports.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Well, John, I've enjoyed chatting with
Thank
you,
you.
but like I don't feel like I'm quite ready to host a radio show
No,
yet.
no.
So, I mean, do you have any other
Well,
tips for
I
me?
told you one of the things when you go and you prep.
Okay.
Okay. One of the things you want to do is you want to look over the news. And if you, and some of the news that I look over is not necessarily going to be in the Telegram, probably for a
that's
very
true.
good reason. It's not that good of news. But let me give an example. This happened in Detroit, Michigan yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yesterday,
There was
hot off the
a
presses.
30-year-old dude. And by the way, I always titled this proving that criminal genius is the exception, not the rule. Here is this guy and his girlfriend were cruising, and all of a sudden they're on I-94 near Detroit, and the car ran out of gas.
Uh-oh.
Now, normally you would call a friend.
Red Thompson driving?
Yeah, okay. Call a friend or call AAA.
Okay.
But no, he talked his girlfriend into dialing 911.
Okay.
So she dials 911, and they said that they would notify some help. And he sat there for an hour or so, and he was becoming upset, so he called 911.
Okay.
And instead saying, "Come help me, I ran out of gas," he called 911 and said that someone had drove by his vehicle and opened up on it with an AK-47 and shot
I
about
bet that got somebody there fast.
150 bullets. So, yeah, the police came right away and found out that there was no shots fired. Also discovered that he was intoxicated and he did not have a valid driver's license. And when they opened up the glove box, out rolled a large stash of marijuana. So currently he was given a ride, but he was given a ride
to jail.
So there you go.
He nailed that.
He really did. Here's another one. This guy comes from Johnstown, Iowa.
Okay.
And he said that deputies spotted this 19-year-old driving this car at 100 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally caught up with him. And instead of saying his accelerator stuck or whatever, his excuse for going 100 miles an hour on the freeway was that
he was late.
He said, a good song came on my radio. So,
hey.
And by the way, when they went through the car, they found out that not only does he did not have a valid driver's license,
He also didn't have a radio.
he probably didn't have a radio, but they also found that he too had some smoke in his glove compartment, so he's in jail.
Okay.
And here's another one from Rock County, Georgia. This all happened yesterday.
Did this all happen yesterday?
Yes.
This is recent
Local
news.
sheriff posted, and I love this is my favorite. Local sheriff posted on their Facebook page,
Okay.
the most wanted for the county. And of course, obviously, what they're trying to do is post these pictures. And if anybody sees these people, they give them a number, an anonymous number to call in. And
The guy
instead
saw
of
his own
this,
picture, didn't he?
here's a guy, this criminal genius, his name is Christopher Spencer.
Okay.
And Christopher Spencer goes on Facebook and he types in, hey, what about me?
Y'all forgot to put me on your...
So they tracked it down. And by the way, they arrested him, and he also had 2 outstanding warrants, and he's busted.
Have you seen the one where they put the guy's picture on something like that, and the guy himself like commented on the picture? He's like, I'll be there tomorrow. I just got a few things I got to take care of first.
I know. So those are some of those news that, you know, probably not.
Maybe didn't get.
Maybe didn't make it in.
there.
Here's some other stuff that didn't make it there too. Yesterday, Oklahoma University and
OSU.
a local pizzeria chain, broke a Guinness Book of World Records. Mike Bausch, who is the owner of Adelini's Pizza, and it's a chain in that area in Oklahoma. It took him 8 months to organize this, and he invited the Guinness Book of World Records to be there. And the adjudicator from the Book of World Records was there.
Yeah.
And what he did is he cooked 1,000 pizzas.
Wow.
And served it to the fans at the nearby university basketball game, Tulane Green Wave at the Reynolds Center. And what they had to do, each participant had to eat 2 slices of pizza and drink a small bottle of water within 15-minute time limit.
Okay.
So they did this, I assume, at the break, at halftime. And the adjudicator confirmed it. 3,357 people finished their pizza and water within the time limit.
Okay.
Which they raised $40,000 for Make-A-Wish. And the previous record, by the way, was 1,046.
So the real question is, how many slices of pizza could you eat in 15 minutes?
That's a good question.
Because I don't know if I could break that record on my own. I could probably do a little bit of damage.
Also, you'll find this in the news. Well, maybe you won't find this in the news.
Won't,
yeah. There's a British library who said a patron owed the library for, late fees.
Right.
And that when they came across it, they found out that he was 58 years late returning this book. Guy's name is David Hickman.
So that interest is going to add up, isn't it?
It will be. And it did. The book he checked out was The Law for Motorists, and this guy said that he checked the book out because he had been given a citation for something, and he got the book out hoping that he could read
Challenge the ticket in
and he
court.
could get himself out. He didn't. He had to pay a fine for driving without due care and attention. And by the way, over the years, he said that he thought about mailing the book back, anonymously. And he also said, if I ever go back to my hometown, maybe I'll just drop it off. Well, he finally fessed up. He brought the book in, and the fine came to, it's 25 cents a day, by the way, $52,400. But the deadly librarian just took the book and let him walk.
Hey, that's why libraries are struggling for funding. These people aren't paying their late fees.
That's true. And I've got one more, and I thought this was probably the most interesting story in the news yesterday.
Okay.
Rhode Island Police Department has now granted a request from a young lady who called up the police department, and she had the remains of a cookie and a carrot that she left out for Santa.
Yeah.
And she wanted it to be DNA tested to determine if Santa actually
ate the cookie.
Right, took a bite. So the Cumberland Police Department said the young investigators seeking a DNA test on a partially eaten Oreo cookie and a baby carrot, and wanted to know if it was really Santa.
Yeah.
And they said that she obviously had a keen sense of investigative process because she had done a wonderful job of sealing off and packaging this evidence that she would submit. And they passed it along to the state of Rhode Island's Department of Health Forensic Science Unit for analysis. Now, in the meantime, the sheriff did say that they gave the girl some undercover evidence to support that Santa really did.
Really?
Yeah.
Some undercover evidence.
Really present in her neighborhood.
Okay.
And they presented her with some nighttime photos of deer in the neighborhood.
Well, I suspect that that's what happened to that carrot.
That's probably.
That was Donner.
So anyway, that's the stuff you find in the news.
So that's the kind of stuff. Yeah. Man, none of that is in here. What's Pete doing? He's not.
I know.
There's not a single story about
Yeah.
reindeer or.
No, none of that's in there.
None of it's in here.
He's got in here that Connie Pelletier,
is seeking
mayor appointment at
the
Wellston.
Wellston mayor. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that.
It's right there on the front
page. It's right there on the front page, thanks to multimedia journalist Jeremiah Schaefer. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, yeah. So
there you go.
Big news stories. Well, John, I appreciate you coming in here
no
and
problem.
doing this for me, and
I enjoyed it.
Dusting off the dumb criminal news and
I know
the special days and everything.
Now, don't forget, we need to get together on March 27th for the
wacky country
music titles.
Yeah,
country music song titles.
I guarantee you, as soon as this is over, I'm going to crank
Can't
Roller Skate in the Buffalo Herd.
Okay, you crank that up.
I will crank that up.
Roger Miller will appreciate it.
The only reason I know that song is because it's in one of the Jackass movies when Johnny Knoxville gets gored by a bull.
Okay, I missed that one, by the
way. It's very funny.
Okay.
Do not try that at home, folks. Well, thank you for everyone watching. I think I saw, was it Rick commented that someone in his family was at that pizza eating event you were talking about?
That was James Wolf.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Rick actually did comment, though, and he said, always great to see and hear John Boy.
Oh, thank
you. It is good to
appreciate it.
hear John Boy. I appreciate it, too. But yeah, I wish I would have been at that thing.
Free pizza.
Have you seen, what was the... Maybe I'm thinking of a movie. I was thinking this was a real thing, but now I think it was a movie. The Will Ferrell movie Semi-Pro. Have you seen that one where he owns he owns an ABA basketball team, and they have a promotion where if the team scores 100 points, everybody gets a free slice of pizza or something like that. And they are getting ready to score the 100th point, but they don't actually have
the pizza.
They don't actually have the pizza, so he's doing everything in his power to prevent them from scoring any more points.
Turn out the lights.
Yeah, turn out the lights. Yeah,
okay.
That movie's really funny. But yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome
for John Boy for coming in here.
I appreciate it.
Thank you to everyone that watched. Thank you for watching our Cincinnati Reds affiliates highlights. That was a lot of fun. Really appreciated them having us out yesterday, and props to JJ Hale for making sure everybody got to go. There was 8 or 9 of us trucked down there for that. That's didn't have to do that.
When you go, let me know, because I can disguise myself as JJ's twin brother, and we'll go.
See if we can make that work. One shout out that I would give, I apologize, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but the guy that kind of put that whole thing together is the stadium announcer.
Okay.
The guy that says, now batting for the Cincinnati Reds, number, whatever. So he handles all that sort of media relations. And I think it's really interesting because you hear that and oh man, that'd be cool to have that job. All you got to do is sit up there and read who's coming up the bat, but realizing that he's in charge of all of this.
Right.
And that's just the fun thing that he gets to do because he's got to do all of these other things and organize all of these radio affiliates and keep all of this paperwork, organized and everything like that.
Cool.
So very cool. While we're on Cincinnati, I guess we got to mention real quick, the Bengals going back to the AFC Championship game. Yet another rematch coming up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, unbelievable. I think they've beat the Chiefs 4 times in a row since the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. The Bengals have beat them 4 times, and now they've got to do it again. Oh,
let's do it.
It's incredible. Well, John, thank you again for coming in. Thank you for Dylan for pushing all of the right buttons, as Jennifer likes to say. Yep. I will be back tomorrow with Curtis Strickland from the Oak Hill Chamber of Commerce. And so just hang with us all week. We're going to have some fun, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Take care. Bye.
This just in. The Telegram News has a new website, thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
Thetelegramnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.